Awesome. So far, so good. So, good evening. I'm really excited to have you guys here tonight. Can everybody see and hear me clearly? If you've got any issues, please put it in the chat. Also, drop a yes in the chat if you can hear me clearly. And before we dive in, I just want to personally invite you all to the call. And in the chat, please share your first name, which city you're joining from in South Africa, or if you're joining from abroad, you can put that in the chat as well. And also, please add who invited you to the call. See, Andy's joined, Judy, Johnny Tlamini, Cynthia, Colleen. I'm not going to be able to keep on in acknowledging you guys as a start, but thanks, Seve and Noella. I can see you guys can hear me clearly there. If you guys, Hazel and Gail and Judy and you guys, if you can just help me with any questions in the chat as well. Good evening, Olga. Who else do I see on the list? Alrighty. So I want to thank all of you for taking time on your Thursday evening to join us here. This tells me that you're serious about exploring new opportunities. And tonight's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes long. So I promise you'll leave at least 3 new ideas, even if this isn't for you. So, right. So this opportunity isn't for everybody, but if it is for you, you'll definitely get something out of it. This isn't going to be me talking at you for that entire time. I'd like to make it interactive. So while I'm presenting, feel free. I see the chat's already booming there. That's awesome. That's what I want to see. Whether you're joining from Facebook, give us a high five there from Facebook. If you're joining directly on Zoom, you can post in the chat your name, your city that you're joining from, and who invited you. And then just out of curiosity, I just want to know how many of us have been looking for ways to create additional income streams. Let's drop some dollars in the chat there if you're looking for new ways to make some money. And if you need to start by finding the dollar sign, we'll do a separate training on that, but we can help you with that as well. So we're 3 minutes in. I'm just going to welcome a few more people. I see Olga, you're also one of our very educated distributors on the call. If you can also help us with any questions in the chat. See, people are already putting dollar signs in the chat for Yelwa. I see those dollar signs. Noella and Sevi from Cape Town, invited by Patty. Lazal from Cape Town, invited by Gail. We've got loads of people in the chat. Won't be able to acknowledge you all, but welcome, welcome, welcome. So before we start, I want you to know that I'm sharing tonight. What I'm sharing tonight is already working for people in Cape Town. It's already working for people in Johannesburg. It's working for people in Pretoria, working for people in Durban, Bloemfontein, the whole of South Africa. It's even working for people around the world because this is an international business. And so this isn't theory. This is real results that I'm going to share with you. Just a quick request. I've disabled the ability to unmute simply because we've got a recording tonight. So for those of you that are able to, please show your faces as well. And let's get some interaction going. And just to a final close before I get started is that if you're here for a reason. And so let's make a deal. I'll give you my all for the next 30 to 40 minutes. And in return, just keep an open mind. If that's a deal, just type deal in the chat. You can carry on typing dollar signs if you need to. And we're going to get started in about 1 minute. We've got 31 participants from Zoom. I can't see how many people are getting started from Facebook. But we'll get started in a second. Let's see if anybody, Noella and Seve has been trying to outdo Fuyuswa there with extra dollar signs. I love it. Thank you very much, Olga, for assisting in the chat. And just especially note, guys, for those that have joined after I said it, this is being streamed live to Facebook as well. So you'll, Miriam, sorry, missing out on that dollars also. We'll try to help you find it. So after the fact, once it's recorded, I think we'll make that Facebook live recording also available that you can share it with people directly on Facebook. And of course, the recording, as always, I'll share with people in the team so that you can send it to people you've invited on WhatsApp or whichever other medium you prefer. So we're about at 1935 now. Let's get started. And we are on a mission to make the world a healthier and happier place. And it all starts with you. Now, my name is Russell Fish, and at 5 years old, my childhood was about more than just growing up. It was about surviving cancer. And this gave me a deep feeling that I was meant to do something much bigger with my life. And after high school, I took the path that a lot of people take. I went to college, I got a diploma in IT, and I landed a full-time job. And because I wanted to start my own business one day, I decided that I needed some backing in that as well. So I decided to get a second diploma in business management. And the reality is that even though I had a good job and a few side hustles, even, I started learning how to make my own neck pillows. I started selling flash drives and doing websites and online marketing. I even learned how to build a greenhouse and do aquaponics, hydroponics, and all kinds of things. Even though I did all of these things, I still felt stuck because I saw my parents living from paycheck to paycheck, and I knew that I wanted more. And so I felt stuck in the rat race, stuck swapping my time for money, and stuck in a full-time job. And that left little time for a family life and even less time for my own goals. And it got to the point where I was so busy, but I was feeling lonely, even in a crowd of family and friends. And it took some deep internal work to even figure out why. So it felt like there was something important that I was supposed to be doing, and I was wasting time. I decided to take a more serious look at the near life business. And this was because I wanted a passive income stream that I could build at my own pace. And it's not just about the business. My home is now free of toxic cleaning chemicals, which means my environment at home is safer for myself and my family, especially for the kids. I don't have to worry about them picking up toxic cleaning chemicals and harming themselves. And I have more energy now, more than ever, thanks to the products. And this is energy that I desperately need as a busy husband and dad of 3. And all of those side hustles that I mentioned, I'm still doing most of them as well. Full-time job, side hustles, and this business. So the products are definitely keeping me going. And through the training and personal development platform, I went from being shy and reserved to confidently leading others. And now I have a real legit way that I'll show you in a second to build a financial freedom tool that I can leave in my will for my family. And I just want you to picture this. Imagine a life where you have more time for your family, more time for your dreams, and more time to focus on what you want your future to be. And this isn't just a financial and lifestyle tool. It's about building generational wealth. And what is crucial is that I'm being coached by top leaders who have already done what I'm trying to do. So if I can do it, you can too. And before I continue, I just want to get a feel for how we're doing so far. Before I continue, let's say we have any questions, just post it in the chat. We've got a few of our distributors and leaders in the chat that will assist you there. I've disabled the unmute button just that we have a clean recording. And who here can actually relate to what I said about feeling stuck in that 9-to-5 grind? Drop a 100 if that's you. And in the chat, tell me, if money wasn't an issue, what would you be doing with your life? What would you be doing now? Where would you be in the next 5 years if you keep doing what you're doing now? One other thing also before I get started with the presentation is how many of you are currently taking any supplements or vitamins? Share in the chat, and I want to show you something really amazing in this presentation. So I know some of you might be thinking by the time we get to the end of this presentation, this sounds too good to be true. Right? Anybody thinking that right now? Post it in the chat, and be honest as well. You can put a confused face or something in the chat if you're feeling a bit skeptical. So that is a picture of me and my family. You can see some old pictures of the first greenhouse that we had going in the backyard. One of our awesome products, SuperGrow, would actually boost the yield that you've got in your garden. It doesn't have to be with hydroponics or aquaponics. So speak to the person that invited you if you're interested in growing your own food at home, because then you can grow it organically and you don't have to worry about GMOs and all of these things. So that's me, Russell Fish, husband, dad, entrepreneur. And let's get to one more question. Why are you here right now? Obviously, somebody invited you, right? But what I mean is, why did you actually give in to the curiosity or to the invite to join tonight? And I believe that it all starts with a dream. That's how it started for most of us that are already in this opportunity. Now, maybe your dream is that you want to spend more time with your family, take more vacations, even if it's just short vacations on weekends. You want to go for a drive or whatever it is. It's a very common South African thing to do. Anybody love going for a long road drive? I see Olga assisting somebody in the chat. Thank you very much, Olga. Maybe your dream is to get your kids through college. Maybe it's to renovate your house or to buy a new house. Now, we've got leaders in this business, like Charlie and Alta Bolton and Wilson and Florence Matumbu, who have already done it. They've already paved the way. They've shown us the blueprint, right? But how does it all work? So let's make this example. Let's say this is you, and you partner up with a company called Neolife. Now, Neolife's been around for over 60 years. They're in over 50 countries around the world. And we have 4 ranges of products, which I'll show you some of those pictures in a moment. And they are all governed by the Scientific Advisory Board. For those of you that are thinking SAB stands for something else, you're wrong. Scientific Advisory Board, and they make sure that the products are pure, potent, and effective. And we have a saying in the Scientific Advisory Board and in Neolife that the products are based in nature, which means that the products stick to nature's blueprint. And they're backed by science, which means that we have a global network of leading scientists and researchers, and they've got clinical research published in leading scientific journals, so they know what they're talking about. All of our products have the SAB seal, which guarantees the finest, safest, and most effective products in the world. And the Scientific Advisory Board was started by a guy by the name of Dr. Arthur First, right? And he was one of the founding member of the Scientific Advisory Board. And some background before we joined the Scientific Advisory Board in Neolife was he discovered an injectable compound that actually killed cancer cells. And it was his research, his and his teams, that proved the first ever evidence that oral cancer chemotherapy was even possible. And just some more background on top of that is when he got involved with the Scientific Advisory Board, he had actually seen how chemotherapy can help millions of people, but he also saw the downside to it and all the damage it does to the body. And so he actually came up with a product that is now sold by Neolife. The initial version of it was called Toxigard, and now it's called Betagard, the next version. And this helps to get rid of all of those heavy metals and toxins in the body. And it's also used as part of a very good detox program. So if you haven't heard of that before, speak to the person that invited you for that. And so at the end of the day, a lot of people have joined because they want to know, how do you make money? Now, just a little bit of an explanation about how the system works, right? Now, you can make money in rands, in dollars, and in pounds and euros because Neolife is in over 50 countries around the world, as I've said. But because we're all around the world, it's a bit difficult for the company to calculate your total business volume over the whole world if you're in different currencies, right? So what they've done is they filtered it down and funneled it into a system called PV, which stands for point value. Now, as an example, I'll speak more on this product in a bit, but a product called Super 10 is worth 10 PV. Now, there's different rand, dollar, pound, euro values all around the world, but the PV remains the same no matter where you go. So it'll always be 10 PV for Super 10. Right? And so you make money through sales, right? A real business has either a product or a service. If it doesn't have one of those two, it's not a real business. And so we've got real products that are helping people every day. And so if you make a sale, you make some cash profits in whichever currency you're working through. Then there's also incentives, and we've got sales volume bonus, we've got leadership development bonuses, we've got product incentives, and there's so many other ways that you can make money and other incentives that you have in this business. So back to the diagram then. So you partner up with Neolife, you register by buying a business kit, and that's how you become a distributor. I'll speak to the kits in a second. And once you do that, you get your products at about 20% less, right? So in other words, you're getting it at wholesale cost, wholesale price. And they've made it really simple for us. They've given us 3 daily success habits that ensure that your business is successful as long as you do these things every day. And the first thing is to use the products. And that basically means you're changing your shopping habits. But why should you change? And as the saying goes, most people resist change until the pain of remaining the same becomes greater than the pain of change. And I always think of the story that I heard in one of our presentations of a baker, right? He bakes bread in his bakery, and would he go across the road to another shop, a convenience store, whatever, a superstore there, whatever, and buy their bread when he makes bread in his bakery? No. He'll support his own business because, firstly, people will wonder, why aren't you eating your own bread? What's wrong with it? And secondly, the other reason that you want to, well, I feel you need to use your own product is so that you have experience with your product. You know what it tastes like, feels like, looks like, smells like. And once you have that experience, they say that facts tell, but stories sell, right? You want to be able to explain to people and to share your experience with the product. And of course, you want to, once you do that, you'll get customers, right? Because people want to experience what you're experiencing. And when you get a customer, because you're getting the product at 20% less, you make about 20% profit on average. Some of the products have a much higher profit percentage, such as our organic skincare range. And then you want to share the business opportunity. And I'm going to explain to you how that works now. Now, the first thing is with the point value system, you want to make a minimum of 100 point value every month because that will qualify you for the sales volume bonus, right? And the incentives program. Now, let's say you found 6 people that want to do what you are doing. And it's really important that I explain at this stage that one of the most important principles in this business is duplication. So what are you going to duplicate in your business? You're going to duplicate exactly what you are doing. In other words, find 4 customers and do the minimum of 100 points. And so if you did that and you found 6 people who all did exactly what you're doing, you're basically going to be making about 800 Rand in profit and bonuses, right? Now, obviously, once you've done this step, you can already go a step further because you can show this person how to get people in their business. And we have a principle in this business called I do, we do, you do, which means that first I do it and you see and become familiar with the process. And then we do it together where you do it and I guide you through. Maybe you still have some gaps in understanding of what to do. We say a few things wrong and we learn and we fail forward. And then you are able to actually go and help your people to get more people. Now, in this example where you help this person get 2 and then they go and help their people get 2 each, we've got a 700 PV unit there. There's 7 people in that team. And those people are now making the 800 Rand, but what you are now making is 1,700 Rand per month in profit and bonuses. And so obviously the next step is to show the rest of the people how to do that. And so the business scales up and you become a director in this business, earning upwards of 12,000 Rand per month. Now, if you can do the extra 12,000 or more per month, drop us some more dollars in the chat. The third daily success habit is personal development. Now, the way I see it and why personal development is so important to me, aside from the transformation that I've gone through as a speaker, as a leader, as a trainer, as a coach, is that as soon as you, even before you buy your first product, before you sell your first product, you need to be a leader already because you need to lead yourself. And once you start taking other people into your business, either as a customer or downline, once you start building a team, people skills become more important. Leadership skills become more important. You're going to have to be able to learn to counsel people in the business and help them even in their personal life in certain ways so that they see the positives in things. I've learned so many things from leaders and coaches in this business where I'm no longer looking at anything negative. I'm always seeing the positive in everything that is happening. And there's another team that works within Neolife called the Eagle team. I've mentioned Charlie and Alta Bolton, and they are South Africans who've built the largest network of Neolife distributorship in the world. And this team, the Eagle team, which by the way, it costs another 100 Rand to join there, they give additional training, support, personal development, and additional incentives. And that's over and above what you're already earning in Neolife. So as an example, how you'd get to 100 points. I mentioned the product Super 10, which is 10 points. There's a product called LDC, which is 10 points. And there's a business kit with those two products in it. So if you bought that, you become a distributor and you now have 20 points. And if you found those 4 customers that I mentioned over there, and they buy those two products from you, most businesses have 20 to 100 or more customers every month. You just needed to find 4 that did the same, and that is exit 20 PV times 4, which is 80 points, and the total will give you 100 points every month. So here's an example of Super 10, right? Super 10, you dilute this product 1 to 10. You dilute it with water. So 1 pot Super 10, 10 parts water, and you'll have 11 liters of Super 10, which works out to about 27 Rand 36 cents per liter. And if you compare that to common surface cleaners, where you pay 33 Rand or so per 750 ml, you're actually spending over 45 Rand per liter. If you're looking at a mildew cleaner, over 100 Rand. You want to pre-wash your clothes, almost 100 Rand per liter. Right? So as an engine cleaner, even 104 Rand per liter. You simply dilute the same product a bit stronger by diluting it 1 to 3. 1 part Super 10 by 3 parts water, which means you have 4 liters out of the product. And it's still cheaper than the common engine cleaners out there. And by the way, most of them come in 500 ml, so don't be fooled by the price. We're talking about per liter price now. And for general surface cleaning, anybody that's used the product Super 10 will know that you can dilute it 1 to 20 and you'll still get good results for just general surface cleaning, which will basically half the per liter price over there. So it'll be about, what is that, 13 Rand 50 per liter or something, 13 Rand 68. I've got it there on the slide. So by just buying 1 bottle of Super 10, you can refill this 500 ml spray bottle 24 times. The same thing with LDC. This product, you'll dilute 1 to 5, so you'll get 6 liters out. If you work out what dishwashing liquid actually costs per liter, you'll be paying over 60 Rand per liter. Popular fruit and veg cleaners out there. If you want to wash off the pesticides from your fruit and vegetables, over 150 Rand per liter. The window cleaner. Now, just by the way, here we've got over 60 Rand per liter for window cleaner. If you use LDC as a window cleaner, you don't dilute it 1 to 5. You dilute it 1 to 100, which means that you're only spending 3 Rand 19 cents per liter. So it's a no-brainer, and it can be used with cold water as well, so you'll save money on your electricity bills, even when washing oily dishes. So that's an example of the 2 cleaning products that I mentioned, and here's the kit that you would get to start in the business as a new distributor. In that kit, you'll get the Super 10, the LDC, the spray bottle, and the mixing bottle for 950 Rand. Included in that will be your literature kit, and I'll explain that in a bit. And also will be the 12-month distributor membership as well, the distributorship for the 12 months. We've got the 3NN, which is a different nutritional product for 960 Rand. You'll get 2 bottles of 60 items, 60 capsules. Then we've got a 6-pack of it for 2,050. We've got the Pro Vitality pack. Anybody that's used Pro Vitality for more than a day will tell you that it is an amazing product. Anybody in the chat want to give a testimonial, you're welcome to pop it in the chat so people can see that what I'm saying is right. The Pro Vitality is an amazing product, 1,230 Rand for a 30-day supply. And these come in a convenient 30 sachets with 4 different capsules in it. And that'll keep you sorted, and it's very convenient just to take it with you and be able to take those capsules. Remember, you take a capsule after you've eaten something because they'll break open in your stomach, so you need to have some food in there. We've got Miriam giving a testimonial on the Zoom chat there, so have a read up there. Then the bigger kit we've got is a combo starter kit. And as you can see, that's 2,930 Rand. We've got the cleaning product, we've got the Pro Vitality and some other supplements. Then we've also got 2 products from the personal care range. Aside from all of these types of products, you'll see the different ranges there, but we've also got the organic skincare range, which I mentioned earlier. Speak to the person who invited you to get more about that. I mentioned the literature kit. This includes a welcome letter to welcome you to the business. It gives you your distributor ID, which is your independent Neolife distributor identification number. And this will be used for all of your purchases, all of your startups. If you go to an event, we've got an amazing event in Pretoria coming up soon. Find out more about that. That's what you'll use that number for. We've got the policies and procedures manual. Remember that as Neolife distributors, as independent Neolife distributors, we are bound by the Direct Selling Association of South Africa. So there's certain rules as Neolife distributors that we need to follow as well. We can't just make unreasonable claims. We've got the confidential and suggested retail price lists. This is the confidential one has got the distributor, wholesale cost, and the customer price, as well as the PV, BV, and all these other technical terms, whereas the suggested retail just has your customer prices. We've got the application forms to sign up new people and start them up in the business correctly. Then we've got the order forms to buy products. We've got the getting started booklet, which explains to you how to get started in the business, how to speak to people, what to say. Then we've got the compensation plan, which is essentially what I've done with the circles earlier on, but it goes a bit more into depth with the actual leadership development bonuses and all of those things. It takes you all the way up to 5 diamond, where you'll be earning much more than what I've shown you tonight. We've got the Lifestyle magazine, which is a quarterly publication. You'll get that with your order every quarter, and you can actually get extra copies of that to share with your customers and your prospects. And then we've got the product catalog, which is a really nice booklet that it's an A4 book that gives you all of the products and a little bit more of information of each one. And as I've mentioned earlier, all starter kits come with your 12-month distributor registration, which means you don't have to buy the kit every year. Every year to renew, you'll pay 160 Rand, but that 160 Rand is included in your kit that you buy for the first year. And so you'll get your starter kit, and I've got to note there, don't wait for opportunity created. But aside from the starter kit, you get all of those, that literature, you get the products depending on which kit you chose. But you also get the ability to have the products delivered to your door. And if you look inside the confidential price list, you'll see that if you order a certain amount of products, you'll have free delivery, either to a Clicks or to a Pep Cell or Pep Home, or even just to your door. You can also have it delivered to your customers directly. We've also got the Back Office app, which is a free app you'll get on your phone. And one of my personal favorites, because of my web design background, is you also get, as part of your distributorship, absolutely free, you get a fully fledged e-commerce website, which means anybody around the world can buy from your business on your website. Right? They'll log onto your website. You'll see my and Chantal's name up there, and they'll log in and they'll actually buy from your business. So at the end of the month, you'll get the profit. You'll get all of the PV, and you don't necessarily have to lift a finger. Now, of course, marketing doesn't work like that. You do actually have to put some work in to generate that interest, but people can buy from you without you having to go to the distributorship and actually go the warehouse and buy the products yourself. What you can actually also do on this website, it's not just about e-commerce, you can actually manage your team. So you get all kinds of different things in the back office there. We've got the resource library where you get a whole lot of digital tools as well, all the literature stuff that I mentioned. There's hundreds of documents, videos. There's just a lot of information that you can get off of that. You'll see that there's additional websites as well, the neolife.com, which is the basic website, the same as your website. You've got Neolife events, the detox, the blog. You can see which international athletes use our products. You can see there's a charity organization as well. You can read more about Dr. Arthur First. He's made such an impact on the world and on the Neolife Scientific Advisory Board that they made a site dedicated specifically to him. And we've even got the Neolife U, which is the university, where you can go and learn more about the products and about nutrition and health. And so to close off tonight, I'd like to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, and I'd like you to pop this number in the chat, where 1 is you're not ready to start, and 10 is you're ready to start now. If you're somewhere in between, pick a number and put it in the chat. And tell the person that invited you this number as well. And what they need to do is they need to come to you and say, right, look, let's say you're a 6. You're not ready to start yet, but you're at about a 6. And what they'll do is they'll come to you and say, listen, I really want to help you get started. How do I get you from a 6 to a 10? Maybe there's some more information you need. Tell them what information you need. Maybe you still need to get some money to get the starter kits. Let them know how they can help you to get there. We've got some ways that we can help you to raise capital so that you can start the business as soon as possible and learn and have fun on the way there. So start up today. There's an application form you can fill out. You can start up online via the website as well. So not only can you sell your products to your customers via your website, but you can and also get the resource library, but you can even have people join your team via your website. And this website can be used on your cell phone as well if you're not going to use the back office app. So 3 things that I want you to think about. To change your life, you have to change your habits. Because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. And although dreams are important, at some point, you need to wake up and start doing. You need to start taking action. And so this is a call to action because action is the foundation of all success. So thank you very much for joining tonight, guys. What I'd like you to do is pop in the chat anything that stood out for you tonight. Olga said in the chat, I got Pro Vitality as my starter kit and it changed my life in one day. I immediately had more energy. Miriam said, yes, I can fully agree. It was my kit purchase, the best decision I ever made. Best decisions I ever made, yeah. Do you have any other questions you guys have in the chat? I'm just looking if there were any questions. Sorry for the guys on Facebook. I'll respond to that, and the distributors can help me respond to that on Facebook as well. After the fact, I'll have a look at that. So thank you very much for joining us tonight, guys. Nobody else has any questions. I'm going to stop the recording and say good evening to everybody.